Well, hey there, everybody. Rhonda Boyle here with RhondaBoyle.com, and I am a pro and evangelist member of the Soar.com platform, and I'm excited to be bringing you another Coach Hacks episode. And today we are going to be talking about building a high converting webinar with my amazing expert in the house, Delilah Cordova with OmniPresence Studio. How you doing, Delilah?
Hey, everybody. It's me, Delilah.
Good to see you. Let me tell everybody about you, though. You are an experienced digital marketer, a Kajabi expert, and an online course creator for entrepreneurs and coaches, and you are driven by a passion to help entrepreneurs grow their businesses, and I thank you. And so welcome, Delilah Cordova. I'm glad you're here today to teach us more stuff. So lots of people are going online today, and so that means webinars. So it's important, isn't it, that we get on board and learn how to do them, the best practices around them. So we thank you for coming and sharing with us today.
No problem. Anytime, you guys.
Okay. So do you want to share your screen, ma'am?
Oh, yeah. You want me to get started? I'm just waiting. I'm here.
Yeah, no, we're moving on. Hey, Alan, good to see you.
All right. One moment, you guys.
Delilah Cordova is going to share her screen now. Here we go, girl. Wow. Show us what you got, ma'am.
I am. Y'all can see it?
We can. Hosting webinars for your coaching business. This is exactly what we want to talk about today.
Oh, yeah. So as you all know, this is part of my Become Visible and Empowered Through Your Online Presence series. So today we're going to be covering many different topics in regards to hosting webinars for your coaching business. This set of slides is specifically for coaches because I made sure that I only covered stuff for coaches, because usually I come in here and I talk about a bunch of other things. So you're like, how does that relate to coaching? Everything that we will discuss today will relate to coaching.
Yay.
So with that being said, as she introduced me so grandly there, my name is Delilah Cordova. I help entrepreneurs to easily become visible in the digital world using creative strategy, project management tactics, and automated marketing systems. If you guys would like to connect with me further, all you have to do is go to connect.delilahcordova.com and get on my schedule. Also, we have a new service that we are kicking out. Now, with the majority of people in this webinar possibly being around the world here,
that's right.
We do have packages that do accommodate for that. But we have a new service that we just came out with. We're running ads, doing all kinds of different things for that. But it's the personal branding experience. And basically, you'll get a kickoff call with me. You'll get an editorial plan of up to 5 stories in a photo shoot. We're going to wine and dine you for a whole day. Hair, makeup, outfits, all that night, all the way to the tents, that when you are online, when you get your website, and also includes website logo, marketing collateral, and social media. So when you are online, you will look like a hot shot.
So that's in Charlotte, is that right? You're doing that in Charlotte?
We are willing to travel to do it as well.
Hey, awesome.
We have different packages for different things. And we also are going to be including with this a PR package where we have a team of people who will reach out to different television networks and radios and all that on your behalf and get you in front of those medias.
Hey. Awesome.
Hey. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So this slide deck is going to be a step-by-step guide. So I have tried to send Rhonda a copy, but I will send her another copy so that when she does send out for the replay and all those different things, everybody will get one of these, get the copy of this slide deck, because this is a guide ultimately. And I like to make my slide decks into guides because I think it's kind of like better that way.
Sure. Well, we appreciate you taking the notes and sharing them with us.
Yes. So hosting webinars and teleclasses are a great way to grow your coaching business. Okay. I've seen many coaches use webinars to grow their businesses. And not only do you expand your reach from one-on-one conversations to a large group, hosting a webinar allows you to showcase your expertise and coaching style without your attendees having to make a strong commitment, right? So how exactly do you go about hosting a webinar or teleclass? And some of us are probably like, I have an idea, but I'm not exactly sure. And if you find the whole idea a little bit daunting, I have got you covered today, okay? So here
I think that's where most of us are. It's a little daunting.
Yes. So here we're going to provide you with a step-by-step guide, like I said, on how to host this webinar or teleclass for your coaching business. So what are webinars great for? Okay. Reaching a worldwide audience, building your reputation as an expert, getting leads and clients, creating an extra stream of income. Who doesn't like that?
Like that.
Conducting a free course, teleclass, or coaching session, on the phone. It gives people a good feeling of valuable information and guidance, right?
Yes.
And provides you as a coach, a way to turn your prospects from warm into hot leads or into sales ultimately. So this is definitely something that you're going to want to have in your toolbox or be considering to do in your marketing campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the next part I want you guys to consider too is when you're first getting started with your with your webinar, you want to keep it evergreen. Okay.
Explain that.
Evergreen means always lasting. So you want to make sure that this is something that can be replayable throughout the year, because this can make you money without you having to do anything. You can automate this process after you've recorded it and, edited it up and done a really great job. You can reuse this over and over and over again. So, and that's like I said, the best part of a webinar funnel is that you can automate the delivery after the record. And, you can drop the training into an email campaign or a traffic campaign, and you can automate the whole process. Okay.
Got it.
So your money's not always spent on redoing a webinar. Rule of thumb or pro tip number 1, don't build the webinar presentation slide deck first. All right. And the reason being is it doesn't work. The reason it doesn't work is because you're making assumptions about what people want to learn. Okay. So even if the topic is the same, the language and the wording might be different. So keep that in mind as we go through this.
Okay.
Now, I know that this looks like techie blah blah to Rhonda.
It's techie blah blah right there.
Yeah, beyond techie blah blah. But I just wanted to put a few different layouts of how different webinar funnels work so that you guys can have an idea when you start to build yours, okay? And these are very simple. Starts on the left and goes to the right. So, you have your Facebook ad, your Facebook page, Facebook ad, and search, right? They're your ways of collecting traffic. From there, all that traffic goes to your webinar registration, right? So your webinar registration will lead them to a confirmation and to a thank you page. So they'll get a confirmation email and they'll land on a thank you page, right? So then from there, you should have your email sequences and the timing of when they're going to happen. This one includes text messages because that is a great way to go with webinars to get people to jump on or remind them because you're directly on their phone, right? Mm-hmm. And then, once you get there, you'll have your live webinar and then you'll do some Facebook remarketing and get them into your free trial and all that stuff. Okay. That's how this one works.
It looks so complicated.
It's not.
It just does. I mean, really, Delilah, you know what coaches do best?
Coach.
Yes. Not this stuff.
But today we're putting on our thinking caps here.
Okay.
This is a process. All you got to do is fill in the blanks. Create a page, create an email, create a video page, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So here, you'll start with, this is supposed to say webinar registration here. Okay, so imagine registration is there. I gotta fix that. But they'll register and they'll take them to a thank you page. They'll get kicked out into an email sequence. This email sequence has 2 videos in it, and then it continues on to once it gets closer to the webinar date, that there's 3 reminder emails to get them to this webinar. Then it continues on into the webinar replay, which also has 3 more emails that are kicked out to that list.
Because a lot of people, and you guys think about yourself, think about, like, we have dozens of people registered for this call today, but they're registering actually for the replay. Like people want the flexibility, which is why you have to have multiple sets of responses for people when you're talking. Alan is asking a great question. She says, what system do you use for this to manage the registration and follow-up?
It really depends. I personally use like MailChimp or Kajabi. It really depends on what you're set up to do from the beginning. I'm going to talk about tools a little bit later on in the session though.
This webinar is free. Is that what you're asking, Alan? Or are you asking, is the format for this something that, she's asking if the format, this one is free, but the format that she's showing us, it's free also. This is a free webinar that once somebody sees the webinar, then you go beyond and you try to sell them something. Because do you know the percentage, Delilah, of how many people sign up to buy from the webinar directly? Is there a number or anything? Or
really
average?
It depends. And it depends on how long you retain, how good your webinar is, and how long you retain people in your webinar, and how good your sales copy is. So it really depends. And how your messaging for your target audience, all those different factors have to also go into this. I'm talking about systematics and automation.
Okay.
All right. So then the next one and it's the last one. So like I said, on the left, you have your traffic. You'll have your lead capture page. Your lead capture page will lead them direct to the webinar. This is more of with a replay type option here, but the lead capture will lead them to your webinar. They'll get on your calendar to fill out your questionnaire, your pre-frame, pre-call emails, and enrollment call. Boom. Excuse me. So very simple process, this one.
Delilah, it sounds so simple. It doesn't. Is anybody think it looks real simple, or is it just me?
That's an interesting question.
That would be an interesting question, because to me it doesn't look simple. Here's what I really appreciate is that most coaches, you're not going to do this for yourself, or if you do, you're going to be part of some type of program. But if you hire someone, this will at least prevent you from getting ripped off, because you at least have a concept for what you're aiming for and the process of what all is required. So Alan says this is workable for her because she loves playing with software. So good.
And the more it's so important. I understand how business owners do this, but people start a business, but at the end of the day, without sales and marketing, there is no business. So why would you not want to sit down and figure out what you need to know as far as sales and marketing before you hand it over to somebody else?
Exactly. You have to do some of this preliminary work, or somebody's going to rip you off. Exactly. They're going to charge you a whole lot of money, and you're not going to get what you think you want because you didn't understand the process. So that's really why I bring, even though it may be confusing for us, at least you can start to wrap your mind around what it is that we're doing. Is this based on the software program that you need? Carolyn is asking, is it based on?
No, this is just the overall, because everybody's going to end up using different softwares and whatever, this and that. I can't sit here and, foresee, and I don't suggest an exact software because I'm just talking about process.
Got it. Process.
All right. So moving on. So you guys,
Thank
you're
you.
going to figure out a couple awesome standout topics. Okay. So first things first, what you need to figure out these couple of topics you would like to cover and the information you would like to present. And to go about this, you need to know your ideal clients and the type of information they are interested in. So do some research, okay? Look at blogs and networks that your ideal client may be interested in. Find out what is being covered and then look at what is missing. Is there a different angle you can look at that would offer further insight into this audience? Let's say, for example, okay, maybe one of you guys might be a relationship coach.
Maybe. Yes.
But you would look through relationship blogs, right? As well as articles on popular magazines and media websites. And you may notice that there are a lot of articles about communication in romantic relationships or the lack of communication. But you can't seem to find anything in relation to text messaging and the problems surrounding this type of communication. So you know that the detrimental effects texting can have on communication, because it removes two essential ingredients, right? Mm-hmm. And that completes the communication package, tone and body. So while you're doing that research, notice what other people are lacking. And that might be an area where you want to hit on text messaging in your relationships and why it's important. Boom, you hit somewhere where it needed to be covered. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Right. And as coaches, even though we are all talking around the same topic, we all have different unique ways that we reach our ideal clients. And so it's identifying exactly what that is that we offer that is unique and different, mm-hmm. that's going to help differentiate us in the marketplace. And that's what how we're going to choose our topic for the webinar.
Right. So, geez, every time I go live, somehow got to happen outside. So, yeah, so you want to know your ideal audience. You want to do your market research. Part of your market research is conducting surveys with your ideal audience. Some people overthink this. It's just basically asking people questions so that you can get down to the root of what you need to know. Okay. Mm-hmm. Look at your blogs and your networks and your competition. Okay. And then email your list. Ask them directly what they want to learn about you, learn from you, or learn about what is their problem. What can you fulfill? All right. It doesn't have to be super difficult to do. People will make this part super difficult. It doesn't need to be. Because people will tell you what they need. They will. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And you can do surveys like with SurveyMonkey. I think you can do them free for a certain amount of questions, right, Delilah?
Right. And you can throw out, like you can even do a Google form. That's free. Or you can just go on Facebook and throw out a question and see what responses you get.
True story. Yeah. Good. Okay. Great.
So the next part of what we got to do here is we got to gather your information. Okay. So after you ask your questions and you've done your marketing research, we're going to gather that information, right? So you're going to want to write out your introduction. All right. So let me back up a little bit. So now that you have a topic of interest and you've researched it, it's time to start putting it down on paper in a structured way. While you don't have to write out your entire presentation at this stage, it's a good idea to have a reasonable outline of talking points, questions, and even visuals put together before you pitch your idea. Okay. So here are some ideas that I have listed here, right? Your introduction, write it out, outline what you're going to talk about, prepare your audience for what's to come, offer a tip, and that's a great way to start up the presentation, right? Mm-hmm. A key question, having a specific question for your audience to ponder before you even get started is a good way to engage them right off the bat, right?
Got it.
Because it piques curiosity, right? Audience engagement is key to any of what we're going to do with webinars. All right. Question and answer periods. are an important component to your webinars. Visuals, super important, because, you know, some people are very into being visual. There's something that Michael Ogier likes to call NLP, right? No, he doesn't call it, the world calls it NLP, neuro-linguistics programming. But he likes to hit on the points that you need to be able to communicate to the different learning styles. So you have your visuals, you have your thinkers, you have those kinesthetic people, you have people who are auditory, and you got to make sure that you're hitting on all of those different things with your webinar. Very important, very important. But practice, if you're not familiar with writing presentations, there's a thing called 5-step PRISM. It's a copywriting structure, and it is helpful for this. Okay.
What's it called again?
Prism.
5-step PRISM?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Where do we find that?
Google. Google search.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So the next best thing that you can do at this point, after you've done the previous section, is offer the webinar to somebody else's audience. Because how big is your current audience? A lot of money is made using joint ventures.
Mm-hmm.
You need to partner and collaborate, and, you know, it's one of the best ways to get more people to your webinar. If you have a friend who happens to be close in a similar or close to industry of what your target audience is in, then they have like a list, they already have a built up social media. Why not ask them?
A lot of people will collaborate with you and share what you're doing with their audience and take a percentage of that. It's affiliate marketing is what you're talking about.
Right. Because that helps you to not have to go and search too hard for an audience. Because now you have your topic and all the information you need laid out. Yeah, you just have to figure out who you're going to present the webinar class to. And if you already have a very active blogger, or, you know, somebody with a lot of followers that you can present to their audience, take that chance and run with it. Now, you can go about this in a long-term strategic plan with your joint ventures, or you can take a more bullet point approach and just try to do it yourself. It's up to you on exactly how you want to get this out to what audience. Makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Well, and we are actually working where we are cross-promoting. So I like to remind people that you can't ever take away or have removed from you someone who's divinely yours, you know? But that's my connectedness speaking. Kumbaya.
My allergies are starting to kick in. Look, my nose turned red.
Oh, no. So that working on a joint venture is something that, especially at SOAR, we are helping coaches explore. In fact, Alan is getting ready to work on one with me. Yeah. So that is, it's important that we find ways to collaborate, and that's what you're talking about.
Yep. Very important.
Yes. Good.
Takes a team. So we're going to set the event and talk about what tools to use. Okay. So after you've been given the okay, and you have your partner, or you're doing it by yourself, however you're going to do it, we got to set it up, right?
Right.
So luckily there are some great, easy to use tools out there to help you along the way with the process. All right. And I'm going to talk about a few of those. And more importantly, I'm going to hit on landing pages. So, all right, a landing page to announce your teleseminar or webinar, I should say both. So basically a landing page is a short page that you dedicate to the only purpose of announcing your webinar. It can be hosted on your main website or as a standalone page without the navigation. Now, you don't want it to have the navigational links, the sidebars, and call to actions that you normally show on your website. Their landing page, it has to have blinders, like a horse. You know, blind, because you want people to focus on doing one thing and one thing only.
You don't want them to have to find it. You want to make it very easy that they have no choice, that they have only one choice, and that's to click on this button.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
the landing page is extremely important that you put those blinders up and you're not getting it all confused and you have this bonus and that bonus and this, and that. The only thing you want them to do is sign up for your webinar. What the benefits of that is going to be. Okay. Mm-hmm. Don't overfill the page. That's what a lot of people do. So the main elements of a landing page are a logo, if you have one, a great headline and subheadline, a compelling copy on why they should attend and what's in it for them, an image of you, the expert, of course, an opt-in box, right? A sign-up form so you can be instantly visible when visitors land on your page, okay? A date and time of your event. Some people forget this. Short bio of yourself, right? And whoever else who's gonna be with you on your webinar. And then some sort of social proof, if you have it. Okay, some people don't have it yet, but don't worry if you don't have it, because just get one down and then use that.
Now, social proof, by that you mean a testimonial of some kind.
Yeah, or a video testimonial, something like that, you know. Pro tip, in order to go that extra mile, add a thank you page after your visitors sign up at your landing page. You can use this page to deliver a PDF if you want them to have it or read it before your teleclass or webinar, and to follow you or to make it easy to share your event via social media channels, okay? So your thank you page will say, thank you for signing up. Here's the PDF to whatever or something free, and please share, you know, simple as that.
And, you know, you guys are seeing these already. I know y'all have opted into things and you're using this, but you're using it on the opposite side. And so what Delilah's trying to show us here is you've got to kind of look at it the opposite way. This is how they actually piece that whole thing together.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
so,
good.
Next part, we're going to talk a little bit more about tools here. So for webinars, you know, a nice tool that a lot of my clients like to use is GoToWebinar. You also have Zoom, like we're doing right now.
I love Zoom.
Yes, but GoToWebinar creates a landing page for you. So if you don't want to have to do all that extra stuff, you can do that with GoToWebinar. And then, you know, important thing to note, if you're going to partner with somebody, make sure you add their information to the landing page, just so that, you know, they have that on there. Sorry.
Yes.
So the next one is Eventbrite. Love Eventbrite. Eventbrite reaches such a big audience. You know, I use Eventbrite for my lunch and learns here in Charlotte. I use Eventbrite for my events. I use Eventbrite for a lot of different things, just because it has such a great audience that comes and signs up onto it. But you can use an Eventbrite page to get registrants for your webinar as well. And I like how they have it set up, because it makes it super easy. So if you want to charge for your webinar, you want to do this, and that, you can do that with Eventbrite, and it kicks out emails. So you don't need extra information on your website. I've found that with Eventbrite and GoToWebinar, that once I have that, I didn't need to add an extra page onto my website. So you want to make the process easy, use one of those tools.
Gotcha.
All right. Now, next one. Crafting your email invitations.
Ooh.
So when it comes to sending out emails, it is a good idea to send 2 or 3 invites periodically, a week or 10 days in advance. A second invite 2 days in advance. And then once they register, the most important email would be sent to them through, you know, your GoToWebinar, Eventbrite, or whatever your landing page setup. I ever use MailChimp. The most important email would be sent to them in, sorry, I have notes here. If you have a partner that you're working with, I would say that you would want to send out the email to their list first. Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Sure.
And to ensure that the right information is going out to them, put together an email template that has all of the details there. This is like one of the pro tip tools I can tell you. Create one template so that all you got to do is add a couple of sentences to it for the rest of the email. So you're not having to write out the same email. Just make one template that you can, switch around and, change out for each one. You don't want to spend a crap ton of time worried about emails. People get so caught up in the details. Emails can be just a regular plain form email as long as it's, it doesn't have to be super pretty. It doesn't have to be all this. It's an email. People don't really care about those details in emails. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've made thousands of dollars with an email that was just a regular, font, no pictures, nothing. You know what I mean?
People just want simple click and go.
Mm-hmm.
Is really what they want.
Yep.
At least at this part of the process.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So make it easy for them to understand and to read, and make it easy for people to share your information. Okay. Keep it simple. So, here are some tips on this page, for crafting that compelling email that gets people to register for your event. All right. I always do this. You want to create a compelling subject line that communicates the value of participants, what they're going to get from attending this. Okay. And there's a couple of ideas on there. Now, you want to keep the email brief and quickly to the point. A simple structure for an email is as follows here below. All right. I need to separate this out a little bit better when I put this on here. But
well, that's okay, because we're going to get this as our guide.
Start with the pain. Mm-hmm. Here's the example. Have you or your spouse gotten into fights over the stupidest, smallest miscommunications? All right.
Yes. And you want the answer to be yes.
Yes. And then propose to solve the problem. No problem. I'm hosting a webinar. Haha. You're right.
Yes.
Offer 3 or 4 outcomes for participants. In this webinar, you will learn how to stand in the middle of a conflict and resolve it. Show your spouse that you're the boss, and so on and so forth.
Right.
Have a clear call to action. Like, save your spot for this event now. Register now, because space is limited. Make sure it is a clear call to action, CTA. Okay. And then make sure you include the key event details, all right, around that call to action. The date, the event time, the duration, the title, so on and so forth, okay? And then people like it, if you include like that little PS note in the post in your script, right? Something like, we only have, X spots available. Like I said, that scarcity factor, get that into that email.
Okay.
One final thought on this email is, even though you're likely going to record the event, don't tell people that you will be recording it, because you'll get a higher attendance rate that way. If they ask, you can tell them it will be recorded, but they need to register in order for you to send them the recording.
Oh, I need to stop telling people it'll be recorded. Things will be recorded then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, because they already know that there's no reason to attend if it's going to be recorded. So there's no desire. Got it.
Okay.
Pro tip.
I got it.
Now, provide some sort of next step and follow-up. When people are looking at sales, they always forget about what happens next and what the follow-up looks like. This is where you're going to make your money.
The fortune is in the follow-up.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
The purpose of your webinar is to share information, expand your reach, and in turn, get more clients. So while the webinar itself may hook them in right off the bat, offering a next step is going to nudge them further in the direction you need them to be. So make sure you get permission from your partner, whoever you're with on this, but you could be offering them a free consultation, directing them to a page on your website to sign up, Or maybe you have your coaching programs and you will sell a steep discount to those who take action on that webinar. What comes next? Now, the reason why I'm saying like worry about your partner a little bit is you want to make sure that everything is good and gravy, because you don't know what they want to do with their audience or what they're willing to do. And then if you're in a joint venture, you want to make sure that you have that little details of how much they're going to get and all those things, hashed out prior to the webinar.
Right.
So that, you can continue to have a good relationship with that. Okay. So now if your partner, whoever you're doing this with, for example, isn't keen on allowing you to sell to their audience, offer something for free. Okay.
Bless you.
I know. Okay. I'm gonna make sure I got
So do you offer would we offer a free option and a sign up for?
You can.
But okay, I see what you're saying. You're saying if you're in a joint partnership with or venture with someone and they're like, no, you can't sell to my audience, but if you want to offer something free, you can.
Yeah.
Which is what I always do.
Yeah. You just want to make sure that those lines are clear, because, it's ultimately, if you're sharing audiences with them, then it's their audience and they control that. So.
Right. Got it.
So with the follow-up, this is your last attempt to connect. All right. If, it takes how many times before somebody will convert?
Well, they used to say 12.
No, it's more like 22.
I think it's gone way higher because of internet.
Yeah, It takes a lot more before somebody will convert. So that follow-up plan of action is super important. What happens next needs to be answered way before, you get to that stage where you get the webinar, everything's good. You want to make sure that that follow-up sequence is already thought out and set
and
into
ready
place.
to go.
Yep. If you're recording a call, which is a good idea, you can repurpose it. Then you can send the attendees the recording via email, right? You can also, so that they can watch it again, or they can, tell people. Some people like to watch it again. They don't remember the first time, and the last one, you want to make sure you leave a lasting impression, and, staying at top of mind. It's what the follow-up is for. If they sign up and they give you a phone number, you want to make sure that you're calling them immediately. You don't want to wait an hour or later. You want to do it quickly. Okay. So here's some, ideas on following up with all your attendees. Okay. Send emails over 3 days to anyone who joined but didn't buy. You want to make sure that you're segmenting out who bought, who didn't buy, and who attended, and maybe somebody who left early. So that way you can figure out different sequences based on those actions, right? So then you can tailor your emails to that. Hey, I noticed that you weren't able to stay the whole webinar. Well, here it is again, just in case, here's the replay. Hey, you purchased, yay, thanks for joining, you know what I mean? And then you want to make sure you have that segmented out at that part, because you don't want to send an email to somebody and they already purchased and you're talking about why they didn't purchase. And you know what I mean? It muddies the water as far as reputation with you. So you want to make sure that you have all that thought out.
Well, now here's the thing that's important is that, like, Alan loves to play with this kind of stuff, right? And most of us don't, quite frankly. So the point of this is not to have you memorize the process, but just so that you can wrap your mind around how this technology and this automation works. Because after, again, the fortune is in the follow-up. So how do you follow up? Well, you can't follow up with everybody in the same way, because some of the people bought whatever it was you were marketing. Some people will buy. They they have to think about it or whatever, right? And then, so there's
her husband's account.
Yes, baby, or they got to pray about it or ask their honey or something.
I got to wait for retrograde to get over. I've had that one. I got to wait for retrograde to be over.
People have all of their reasons. And so anyway, being able to at least understand when somebody gets ready to start to put this together for you. If you don't do it yourself, you at least are educated enough to know why, because that was part of the hard thing with me, I think, Delilah, is that when I first started working in this arena, I kept being told I needed 3 emails to address this, and then I needed 3 emails to address that, or 4. And they started sounding the same in my head because I wasn't real clear on exactly where we were separating everything. So this is really very helpful.
Yeah, segmenting.
Really sit down, and you've got to sit down and think these things through. So
yes, you have to, because your reputation is everything. And if you give a really shoddy webinar, and then your follow-up processes, and then, leading up to that is, not working, then you're going to miss out on a lot. So gotta make sure that you do that.
Thank you.
Oops, this is not mine, not for this.
Okay.
But it's included on it. So that I'll just discuss it real fast. But personal branding, you guys, super important. Make sure that with your webinar pages that it does reflect your personal brand, and that it's consistent with your website, with your social media pages, and all those. So, here's some rules for your personal brand. Your brand needs to reflect your purpose, style, and establish trust. Your brand must be consistent across all your platforms, like I said, and you want to develop a brand style guide, and that'll help you when you're working with people like me, so that I can make sure that I can do my job to the best of my ability. So colors, typography, imagery, all those are covered there. I also have a brand style guide on my website, marketingincharlotte.com. So make sure you guys check it out.
I just wanted to mention, I really like Carolyn's brand right here. Carolyn Dragon has her brand. Her company is 10 women? Remind me exactly, Carolyn. But you can see in here the 10 and the circles. And so that's really, really good.
I got to look. Oh, and then, with branding, consider your colors and how they affect the psyche, because colors affect emotion. So here's a nice little guide. This is available in the PDF that Rhonda's going to send you guys.
Cool.
Yep. And then our next strategic business planning group starts April 17th, 2019. For this one, I'm asking for people to contact me directly if they're interested in participating. Before I had them go to a landing page, but with this one, I would like for people to contact me directly, because this one's a little bit different from the last. But what we're going to cover is 6 weeks, you get 6 weeks of group coaching, and I help you to establish yourself online. So all those different arenas that you need help in, I help you with that. So you get 2 one-on-one coaching sessions. I help you plan your automated and daily email strategy. We create your multi-channel social media editorial calendar, and we cover everything from A to Z as far as digital marketing and online goes.
Wow.
And you get a copy of the Ultimate Planner.
Well, I just wanted to say that I have worked with Delilah for, it's been 2 years. Is it 2 years?
Yeah, 2 years.
It is a group, and is it a group call? Carolyn is asking.
It's once a week for 6 weeks. We do a group coaching. But the nice thing, because I'm super nice.
Well, plus you get 2 one-on-one calls. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. But the nice thing about the group coaching is that after the 6 weeks, if you want to continue to attend the next session's group coaching, I don't mind. I let everybody, continue on.
Yeah. Good.
So
good.
But
if you're going to do it yourself and you've never done it yourself, I can tell you, and I say this every time I have Delilah come on, I paid her a whole lot more money. And I still had to do the work. I'm so glad, though, that you're doing this, because it's a much more attractive price point for people who want to get in and understand it. Once you do one of these, you will either love it and you will do it. You'll be able to do it from then on out, or you will hate it, but you'll know how to hire somebody. Yeah. Right, Delilah? I mean, really, seriously, I'm going to tell you this, and I have shared this before. The first time I put together a funnel thing, it cost me over $2,000, because I went with somebody who was $8 an hour in the Philippines.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
It took 120 days. Y'all, avoid the pain I have been through. If I can save you time, money, and pain, I will do it. Anyway,
Right.
Carolyn's asking what time the call is. It's recorded, right?
It's recorded. It depends on when we start the group. I like to ask the group like what times. I don't do a huge group. I can't.
Right.
I do a small group of people. Then typically it's in the evening times because that's when people are most down or we've been holding this last session. We're doing ours at 8 o'clock
in the
at
evening
night, and that seems to be working out for people.
Yeah.
And they are recorded, and there's also a Kajabi course, so you'll be able to go in and see.
It's a huge value. I just want, and I don't make any money for saying that. I just want y'all to know.
And there's already a bunch of your strengths-based coaches in there.
Are there? Cool.
Yep, from last session. Okay. So they're in there. So you guys can get together and collaborate and all those different things.
All right, good.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
All righty.
Good.
Any questions?
Well, thank you, Delilah. Wow. Yes. Let us know. Where would you find out about the upcoming sessions? Alan can't do it for a few months.
Just contact me directly.
I think you'll get on her list. If you get on her list, Alan, which is a funnel. It's exactly what we've been talking about. What is it, Delilah? Is it Delilah? What was
connect.delilahcordova.com. Thank you. Added it there.
Connect.delilahcordova.com. If you sign up for that, then you'll be on her list, and she emails people and tells them what she's got going on, and so you can make a decision. And I have Delilah on as often as she will come and play with me because she's such an amazing wealth of information. And for those of you who are in the strengths movement, which I know most of you are, who are on this call, she would tell us your top 5: strategic, futuristic, competition, command, and
ideation.
One more. Which one? Ideation. That's it. And then significance is like number 6. And so she wants you to be seen. And her strategic and futuristic sees the way. So this is why I can highly recommend Delilah. And you have a heart of gold too. So anyway, I'm glad you guys could hang out. You guys have any questions? Just want to, make sure that this information, you have access to it, because I want you to be more, do more, and have more. And that's what it's all about. So Delilah, thank you. You bring so much good value to us, and I'm just grateful. So Any other questions, you guys? No, I think we're good. So thanks for joining me, everyone. And if you do have any questions, I'm going to put you can reach out to me at soar.com/Rhonda Boyle. You can find me there if you want more information about SOAR. Just to know whether or not it's the platform for you, you can go to soar.rhondaboyle.com, and I have some information there for you. And reach out. I'm going to send this recording out within 24 hours, and so you guys will have it to refer to. And again, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks, Delilah.
Yep, no problem.
Bye. Everyone.